with that, we can begin by taking a quarter turn to the left, moving any props out of the way, unless you want to have your blanket there for your knees later. And then slowly make your way onto your back. Yeah. And then just do a little check. Reach your right arm out and make sure your right arm is closer to the screen. That will help us all stay on the same page. And if it's not your right arm, just flip your head around, and then we'll be all synced up. And then I'll tell you when to hit play on your playlist. So for now, we'll just enjoy some silence so that we can feel more and we can tune into the connection with our breath and our inner space. So from the back, close the eyes. And just notice the earth rising up beneath you to support you, even cradle you. And as you gently notice the breath and allow the breath to flow in and out, start to notice the sense of the body just gently rising and falling effortlessly, just like a buoy floating on a calm ocean day, just rising up with the tide and back down. At first, it might be easier to be aware of the top side of the body, expanding and then softening. And then maybe you can start to feel the same thing happen on the back of the body. Just a gentle added pressure into the mat as you inhale. And then a melting, a softening as you exhale. And if you feel any sense of gripping or directing the breath, try relaxing even more and observing the breath, just letting it be natural. Today we're going to focus so much on allowing our intelligent bodies to support us from the inside out without having to think about it, but rather just feeling. So let that process start to unfold right now with the breath as you just allow the body to self-regulate. And we'll start to add in a little more sensation to the body, but try to keep witnessing the breath, this really sweet fluidity that we can tune into at all moments. Start by just gently brushing the thumb across the pads of the fingers as lightly as possible. Just giving yourself just a little tactile sensation to start tuning into, and then the thumb can explore the space of the hand, and then allow the fingers to start to participate and move, stretching the hand wide and allowing the hands to gently come to the shoulders. And do the same thing, just gently brushing the fingertips over the arms, just to feel your skin from the inside, right? And just do this a couple of times, not even massaging yourself, but just waking up this exterior tactile sensation. And then place the arms back down in any direction that's comfortable for the shoulders and the neck. We'll do a similar thing with the feet, but from the inside out. So just start by pointing and flexing the feet. And do this as minimally as possible because the feet will get really tired if you exert too much. And start to ever so gently circle the feet, just exploring the ankle and the angle of the foot connecting to the shin bone. Notice the heel gently rolling around on the mat. And then start to notice the connections up from the ankle. So you may feel the legs starting to rotate. You might feel some sensation in the low back. You can go the opposite direction with the feet and move twice as slow. I actually did that as I cued it, and it was like a sense of like, thank goodness. So if you don't feel that yet, you move even slower till you feel the And as the feet gently circle, just try to hold the wholeness of your body in your vision. So you can start to sense how these little movements of the feet impact your entire body all the way up into the scalp. You might notice just a gentle rocking the head. Your whole body is just naturally following this movement. You don't have to do anything, but just by virtue of our connective tissue, it happens. The next time the toes point, gently push the heels down into the earth, just allowing the legs to illuminate. You can walk the feet as wide as you need to for this to feel really spacious in the pelvis. And then keep your arms really heavy and start to snow angel the arms overhead, getting some tactile feedback on the forearms and anything grazing the earth. When the arms reach overhead, start to give yourself a hug with the right arm on top, but let the arms be really heavy so they drip over the head as they slowly wrap around the body. And then draw the knees up and slowly lift the elbows to the knees so the front edge of the body shortens. And then release the torso down, let the head melt, and extend the legs to a V overhead. And imagine your legs are jello. And they're just this big bowl of like your favorite color jello, or just your favorite color if you don't like jello. And gently start to jiggle the legs. So gently, but you can visualize like those little jello cubes, like what? Jiggling. That's the only word that I can come up with is jiggle. And then allow the legs to come to stillness and reverse the movement of the arms so the elbows melt over the head, reaching overhead. And then circling back down to the hips and tent your fingertips. Push down into the hands and allow the bottom of the pelvis to lift just like a baby crunch. Keep the head down. And then as the hips release down, stretch right arm and right foot apart. And then go back to that initial movement, feet up, hands down. Lift the bottom of the pelvis. And then as the pelvis releases down, left hand and arm reach apart. And once you've got the hang of it, play between those two motions, the shortening of the top of the body by lifting the pelvis, and then the reaching out of that same line. One more time each side, and move nice and slow so you can feel the connection between the foot and the hand as it reaches apart. Next time you complete the left side, you're nice and balanced, and pause for a moment at center, soften the knees, and I forgot to tell you to hit play on your music. So if your speakers are nearby, hit play on that first track on the playlist. And then reach the legs back up. You can take a second. If you're ready, you can just shake the legs. You get a bonus Jello movement. Sorry, guys who are playing with their playlists right now. Don't worry, we're going to do this movement a lot, so you'll get it again too. And then from the back, stretch right arm and right leg apart one more time. Make sure the left hand is tented next to the left hip. Point the left toes and slowly allow the left leg to descend towards the screen. Gently twisting the body so you're on the right side. Push into the left hand behind you to encourage this roll onto the right side of the body. And then stretch the left hand overhead so both hands meet and roll all the way onto the belly. Extend the left leg straight back so you've got a V behind you in the legs. That's symmetrical. And then bring the hands together like a triangle. So the index fingers touch and the thumbs stagger. And gently press into the outside of each hand. As you press into the outside of the right hand, just gently roll some weight towards the left and then reverse it. Press into the outside of the left hand, rolling some weight to the right, and go back and forth a few times, allowing the pressure of the hand to stimulate the arm all the way down into the shoulder and the core. So just that simple movement helps guide you from side to side as the shoulders start to wake up and strengthen. So the hands just look like this for anyone who's looking up here. And then you're just pushing right here to gently press this way and then back. And it should be really relaxed. So the forehead's down, you can totally release. And this first round, we go really, really slow so you can learn these movements. And then you'll get the hang of it and you'll move a little faster once the pathway is defined. Now push evenly into outer edges of both hands. Feel both shoulders illuminate and slowly start to peel the spine upward. So you're just in a really mellow cobra. Slide the hands in any amount that is natural with the strength of your back. And then try that exercise one more time of gently pushing into the right edge of the hand to send the body towards the left, and then the edge of the left hand to send the body to the right. Just gently swaying. For this first round, we'll add on a little more back strengthening to prepare us to go deeper into this movement later. So circle the arms behind you, reach the fingertips towards the heels, and let that slowly peel you up a little higher. And then bend the right knee and start to reach the left hand towards the right foot. So you're just subtly twisting in your back bend. And then switch legs and reach right hand towards the left foot. And then keep switching so there's a sense of just gently swaying the spine. And if you feel the low back turning on a lot here, come down a little bit lower so there's just a little more ease and fluidity. Don't worry, we'll have plenty of time to go deeper into postures, so you don't have to force anything now. We're just saying hello, waking these muscles up. And then release both legs down. Plant the hands just behind the shoulders and push into the hands to slowly rise up to hands and knees. If you have sensitive joints and the knees on the floor here is too much, just place a blanket underneath them so you've got support. But we are going to stay off the mat because we need that real estate in a moment. So walk the hands underneath the shoulders so the shoulders feel supported. And then point the right knee to the space between left hand and left foot. So you've got a cross core action. Put the right knee back and reverse, so left knee to the space between right hand and foot. And go back and forth a couple of times so you can start to warm up the back, the grounded hip as you do this. we're going to add on to this movement, and it's normally going to go away from me, but for the first round, I want you to see it. So let's take the right knee to the space between left hand and left elbow. Walk the right hand in slightly and slowly drop the right hip a few inches to the right, and then push down into the right knee to lift the hip back up, engaging the muscles around the right hip. So take a few pulses here, letting the right hip drop and then squeezing the right hip up, in and up. The next time the right hip squeezes in and up, push down into the right hand and slowly let the body start to stack and open so you can lift the left hand and hover the left foot. And bring left hand and foot together any amount that's comfortable. They might not touch, that's okay. And then draw them apart, just like that crunch we did on our back. And play with that a few times, but keep your awareness on that bottom right hip, because if you go too far, it's not going to feel good on the bottom right hip. So doesn't matter how far you go, just make sure the right hip feels really supported. And the next time the hand and foot come towards one another, release the left foot down, shift the weight so there's pressure into the left foot, and reach the arms up. Okay, so normally this is going to take us back on our mat, but I wanted you to see it coming towards the screen so it was easier to follow. So now we're going to try it the opposite direction. So hands back down to where they began, step the left foot back like a half plank, step the right foot back, and then drop both knees. And so now left knee comes to the space between right hand and knee. And walk the left hand in. Let the left hip sink and then lift. Sink and then lift. Just taking a couple pulses to really strengthen the glutes, letting the glutes pull that pelvis up to center. The next time the pelvis lifts, pause there. Push into the left hand, slowly stacking the right hand high. Lift the right leg. Same gliding motions, pulling hand and foot together and then stretching them apart. Just like we did on our back, try to find the same amount of ease and fluidity. And just keep checking in with the left hip so you don't overdo it. The next time the hand and the foot come together, release the right foot down so it's nice and wide and off to the right, back on your mat. Shift the weight towards the right foot and reach up into the right. And then reach straight up, letting the front of the body open. If it's comfortable, you can bend back a little bit. And then circle the hands back down to where they came from, planting underneath the shoulders, right foot back. Left foot back to plank, and we're going to do it one more time on that same side. So left knee comes into the space between right hand and foot. Push into the left hand, opening up away from me. Glide the right hand and foot together and apart a couple of times. And then the next time the right foot comes forward, shift the weight into the right foot and reach up into the right. Circle back, opening the front of the body, circle to the side. And then circle forward and release the hands down inside of the right foot. Bring the left knee onto the mat, because why not? Push down into the feet and slowly start to stack the spine. Gently press the pelvis forward to help the spine organize, and bring the head and the arms up last so the whole front of the body can open. And then softly start to extend into the front leg so you can melt forward once again. And let's repeat that. Push down into the feet and move really slowly so you can feel the stacking of first pelvis and then one vertebra at a time. Do that one more time on your own. And then release down. Put a little extra weight in the left hand and the right foot so you can gently start to glide the left knee forward, left hip down, and extend the left leg through. Extend the right leg and pause so you're seated for a moment, and you'll be seated the opposite direction as you started. Gently recline onto the back. Soften. Release any thoughts, any questions of what just happened. And just let your body be here in stillness for a moment. So we'll repeat that same sequence on the second side. Just still learning our movements, learning the pathway so that we can put more and more energy into that same pathway in the next round. We'll start with a gentle foot circle, letting our whole body respond to that movement all the way up to the skin on the skull. The next time the toes point away, push down into the heels to wake up the legs. And then snow angel the arms overhead, big full body stretch. Slowly give yourself a hug. This time left arms on top, bend the knees and curl up. And then rest the body down, float the legs to a V, and gently melt the arms over the forehead. Start to jiggle the legs, just letting any tension release out of legs and hips as you circle fingertips down towards the hips. Tent the hands and just gently push down into the hands to curl the bottom of the pelvis away from the mat, lifting the legs. And then release the hips down, left hand and left arm apart. And then tent hands, lift feet. Release hips, right hand and foot apart. And just do this a couple more times on your own, moving as consciously as possible so you can really feel the support of the limbs integrating back into the core. The next time the left hand and foot are apart, pause there. Allow the right foot to slowly cross over and simultaneously reach it away from you. So there's a sense of lengthening the right foot away. Right toes can touch down and slowly roll onto the left side. And then all the way onto the belly. Bring hands together, forming a triangle. Rest the forehead. Gently press into the left side of the left hand. Rolling just slightly to the right. And then reverse it, rolling slightly to the left. Press evenly into both hands and slowly lift the body with the strength of the back. And as you do that, let the hands pull in. Pause where you are and then gently shift weight from side to side, allowing the spine to just slightly snake in this back bend. And then slide the hands in a little bit more if it's comfortable. And continue with the gentle swaying. Come back to center, release the body down, reach the hands behind you, slowly peeling up the back once again. Bend the right knee, reach left hand to right foot, and then swap legs. And it's not about how high you lift. It's about really finding an evenness across the back as you sway so that you feel more supported holistically. And then reach both legs back, plant the hands underneath the shoulders, and push down to slowly rise to tabletop. Option to lift the legs this time or keep the knees down. Cross the right knee towards the space between left hand and foot, and then step right foot back and switch, and take a couple of these crosses. And the next time, we're going to skip the one towards me now that you've got the motion. So the next time, the right knee comes between left hand and left foot. Walk the right hand in, slowly push into the right hand to stack the left arm, coming up, facing away from me, and then lift the left leg, glide left hand and foot towards one another, and then away. Together and away. And then next time they come together, set the left foot down, slowly shift the weight into left foot and reach across up into the left. Push into the left foot as the arms reach up and center so you can extend the front of the body. And then keep the arms circling over to the right so you can plant the hands back down. Step the left foot back like a half plank, and then step the right foot back to plank, and we'll do it one more time. So right knee comes to the space, push down into the right hand to stack open, glide left hand and arm together and apart, together, and plant the left foot, slowly sweeping up and to the left, and then circling back from the back bend to the right, and then all the way down inside of the left foot. If the right knee's off the mat, bring it onto the mat and take a moment to change the distance between left foot and right knee so the hips feel really supportive. And then push down into the legs slowly, stacking the spine, head and neck and arms float up last. And then gently extend the left leg as you melt back down. Bend left knee and repeat that 2 more times. And just notice the organization of the pelvis, just gently floating forward, buoyantly, evenly supported by the legs, allowing the spine to stack on top of it. And then release the hands down in front of left, inside of left foot. Glide the right knee forward, put the right hip down, and extend the legs. Take a moment at seated to just feel the pelvis as your foundation and the spine floating up. And then reach the hands towards the feet as you slowly melt the body down. Back at the beginning. And we'll rest here for a moment. If you need any water, it's a great time to have a sip of water. And if you're following along with the playlist, you can go to the second track. And so we'll repeat that same sequence again, but we'll move a little faster through the familiar movements. We'll cut out anything that's not necessary, and then we'll build on as your body is ready for more. We'll just take one more moment to let everything sink in. We'll start with our foot circle. And as the toes point away, push down into the heels, letting the whole body start to energize more from that action. Circle, arms overhead, and then with right arm on top, give yourself a hug. Draw the knees in, gentle crunch. Release the head down, arms or legs to a V. Little shake here as the arms melt over the forehead and sweep back down beside the body. Tent fingertips, lift the hips maybe a little higher if that's comfortable. And then as the hips melt back down, right hand and foot reach apart. Slowly reach the left foot away from you so that you can roll onto the right side of the body and move nice and slow so you have control as you melt onto the belly. Bring left hand and right hand to meet in that triangle. Push into the right hand, swaying to the left. Push into the left hand, swaying to the right. Push evenly, coming back to center. And then peel the heart off the mat, allowing the hands to come in any amount that is comfortable on the spine. Little spring in the elbows so nothing's locked out. Push into the right hand to sway. Left hand to sway. We'll repeat that one more time, dragging the hands in just a little bit more as long as it feels even and supportive on the low back. And then bend the elbows. Keep the hands in that diamond shape, but bring the hands underneath the heart. Tuck the toes under. Knees up or down, it's up to you. Push into the hands to come up to plank pose with hands in that nice triangle as long as it's comfortable. And then bring the left knee to the space between right hand and right foot. Set the knee down. Push down into the left hand to slowly open away from the screen. Lift the right leg. Glide right hand and right foot apart. or together, sorry, and then apart. One more time, together and apart. The next time the right leg swings forward, set the foot down, shift the weight to the right, reach up and over to the right, and then circle back and to the left. Plant the hands back down into the diamond, step the right foot back. And two options here. You can step back into down dog or keep the left leg lifted and allow the left leg to open like a scorpion. And then we'll go back through that sequence again. So left knee comes to that space, shift the weight into the left hand, glide right hand and foot together, apart, together, shift the weight slowly over to the right foot, reach up and over to the right, and then circle back and down. And if it was hard to do down dog with the arms in diamond, you can just go to regular down dog hands. That's up to you. Right foot back, and then either push up into down dog or keep that left knee lifted and push into three-legged dog with a scorpion tail behind you. Last one, left knee comes to the space between hand and foot. Push into the left hand, reach right hand high, glide hand and foot together and apart. And then together, shift the weight, circle to the right, and then back to the left, and then all the way down. And so now we're going to build on our sequence here. So adjust the feet, bring the back knee in a little so you feel like really powerful. Slowly start to push down into the legs, rolling up like we did before, and then allow the arms to follow the momentum of that circle so they travel behind you, and then continue the circle, and as the arms reach forward, lift the back knee for a Virabhadrasana 3 prep pose. And then slowly shift the weight into the right foot. Let the left leg hover any amount. It doesn't have to be much, but then kick into the left leg so the toes turn out to the side. Slowly bend into the right knee so the left foot comes down. Virabhadrasana 2. Nice. Pause in Virabhadrasana 2 and reach to the right and then reach to the left. And then reach up and over to the right, and then up and over to the left, just gently snaking the spine. And the next time you reach up and over to the right, slowly start to extend the right leg and melt over it for trikonasana. Drop the left hand, draw a big circle forward, up and back, and just take a couple of these circling trikonasanas. Just make sure it feels fluid, and if it doesn't, come higher up out of your trikonasana and should feel just a little easier. And the next time the hand is circling down towards the leg, melt the hands down, spin the left heel up, and we're going to go through that sequence again. So you have the option to drop the knee like we did on the first round, or just scoot the foot in and keep the knee hovering for a little more power. Push down into the feet to slowly rise up, circling the arms up and back. And then as they circle forward, shift the weight, Virabhadrasana 3. Pause here if it feels good. Whenever you're ready, kick into the left foot, letting the toes turn out so you can slowly lower the foot down into our snaking Virabhadrasana 2. As the foot comes down, reach up and over to the right, and then up and over to the left. Nice. And the next time you reach over the right leg, slowly melt over the right leg as you kick, even dig into the right heel, extending through the back of the leg. Left hand drops, circles forward, up and open, letting that rotate the body. Check in with the back hip here. If there's a lot of sensation, I recommend turning the back toes forward a little bit more so the hips aren't opening as deeply. But you guys look really good. And the next time the left hand comes towards the right foot, spin the left heel up, but release both hands down, and then slowly walk the hands through center. Bend the knees really deeply so you're staying low, like get a little sneaky here, and start to walk the hands over to the other side, turning on the feet. plant the right hand. Many of you have done this with me before. To get back to the beginning, we're going to hop the left leg over the right. You can try that a couple of times, and if you're new to it, feel free to put the right knee down, swing the left leg over so you have a little bit more control as you roll. Nice. All right, you guys did it. And then scooch back onto the mat. Let a breath flow in and out. Sit up nice and tall, and it's okay to lean back if that helps you sit up taller. And then just gently melt onto the back. And so head is pointed a new way, and we're just going to go through that exact same sequence. Nothing new. Same sequence on the second side. And each time it gets a little more familiar. Even if the mind can't remember it, the body is starting to learn its way. And so we'll start with the slow toe circle. Point the feet away. Drag the heels down, enlivening the legs. And then snow angel the arms up and overhead. Left arm on top. Slowly give yourself a hug and pull the knees in. Release the head down. Legs to V. Nice easy shake as the arms melt over the third eye, reach up and overhead, and gently circle down to the hips. Tent the hands, lift the hips, slowly lower hips down, left hand and foot apart. Push into the right fingertips as you stretch the right foot away, slowly rolling over the left side, onto the belly, off of the mat towards the screen. And then make the triangle ahead of you. Push into the left hand, gently snaking to the right. Push into the right hand. And then from center, slowly lift your body with the strength of your back, letting the hands just follow whatever's natural. And then just gently sway from side to side. And then try that again, lifting with the back, pulling the hands in a little bit more, but bending the elbows so there's no rigidity in the arms as you gently sway. And then from center, release the body down. Slide the triangle underneath the heart. Knees up or down, it's up to you. Push into the hands for plank. And then bring the right knee into the space between left hand and foot. Push down into the right hand, slowly opening away from me. Hover the left foot, and then glide left hand and foot towards one another and away. They might not touch. Mine are on totally different levels, but try to feel a sense of gliding in the arm and the leg. The next time the leg glides forward, set the foot down, shift the weight, reach up and over to the left, and then back, and then to the right, so you can plant the hands down and go back the way you came. Step the left foot back. Option for the triangle if you like that, or just hands underneath the shoulders for more support. So left hand back, and then, left foot back. Push into the hands, letting the front of the body unfold with your stinger leg behind you. It would be the right leg if you want it. And then shift the weight over the shoulders. Drop the right knee back to where it came from. Push down into the right hand, lifting away from me. Lift the left leg. Glide leg forward. Glide leg back. Glide leg forward, and slowly shift the weight over to the left. Be kind of dramatic as the body grazes and reaches over to the left and then back and to the right. And one last time, plant the hands, left foot back to half plank. Push into the hands to down dog or three-legged down dog with the right leg up like a stinger. And then last one, right knee comes down into that space. Push into the right hand, opening up. And then glide, leg forward, leg back. Leg forward and slowly shift. Reach up and over to the left, circling backward. And then melt down inside of the left foot. Bring the right knee forward if you need to, so you have as much support underneath your pelvis as possible. So we push down and slowly stack one vertebra at a time. Arms reach back and then circle behind you. And as they circle forward, lift the back knee. Shift the weight into the left foot and just hover the right foot for this first round. Reach hands and foot apart. Let the right toes turn out to the side. And then slowly set the right foot down. Reach arms to T and push into the left foot, sending your spine to the right. And then push into the right foot, snaking back the other way. Just take a couple of your snaking Virabhadrasana 2s. And the next time you reach over the left leg, allow it to slowly extend any amount. Left hand down, right hand reaches behind you, down, and then forward and open. And it's not really about moving the arm. It's about allowing the arm to rotate the heart center. The next time the right hand reaches down and forward, let the right heel lift, release the hands down, and we're back at the beginning, but you've got to scoot that right foot forward so you can take a little crouch with more power. So bend the right knee, option to set it down or keep it lifted. Push down into the legs, slowly stacking the spine, circle the arms up and back. And then reach them forward and take flight. It's okay to go a little deeper in the second round if you want to. And then kick into the right foot. Let the toes turn out and slowly bend the left knee to set the right foot down. Open up nice to Vira 2. And then you can go right into the snaking by reaching the rib cage up and over, side to side. The next time it reaches over to the left, extend the left leg. Let the hand touch the leg wherever it already is, and then circle the right arm back down, forward and open. Nice and slow. If the shoulder ever gets tired here, just bring fingertips to the shoulder. It's really more about the torso than the arm anyway. And the next time the arm circles down towards the leg, lift the back heel, touch the earth, and then slowly walk the hands to the right, staying really low as you go through center. Let's pause this time and just lower the hips a little bit to get a little more hip opening. So bend the knees, let the hips lower, and then keep walking the hands over to the right, swiveling on the feet. Plant the left hand, and if you've got this transition down, go for it. Hop the right leg over the left, and I'll demo it a couple of times if that one's new to you. So you're pivoting on the left foot, so there's no tension on the knee, and the right foot hops over to the left, and you can slowly lower the hips down. Nice. And then extend the legs, scooch back onto the mat, and gently release your body back down. We're back at the beginning. Balanced out sides. We're going to go through that one more time. You'll have some options if you want to make anything more challenging. If your body's feeling fatigued, you can skip any part you didn't like. You can repeat any part you really liked. Now it's just sort of time to play within that framework. If you would like a sip of water, grab some. We will be going to the next track. I think I'm going to turn the fan on. It's usually a good sign. All right. We'll all meet on our backs, pointed that original way with the right arm towards the screen. And let's just take an extra moment here to soften and remember our goals in yoga. We never want to build more tension, though we can generate strength. Just let this last round be about finding as much fluidity and ease as possible. Just let a couple of breath flows cycle through you. And we'll start with our foot circle. And then point toes away, push down into the heels. And this time you can arch your back a little bit as you push the heels down, just letting the front of the body open slightly. And then circle the arms overhead, right arm on top, give yourself a hug and curl up. And then float the legs to a V, gentle jiggle. Let the arms melt overhead and circle around you, tenting fingertips at the hips. Slowly push into the hands, lifting the spine any amount. And then as you gently roll the spine back down, reach right arm and leg apart. Slowly lower the left leg as you reach it across the body, letting it roll you onto the belly. Hands to a triangle overhead. Push into the right side, push into the left side, and then from center, lift the spine, let it drag the hands in, bend the elbows a little bit, and then right hand, left hand to sway. And then from center, option to lift a little higher. Just make sure you're not creating any compression in the spine. And then release the body down. Bring the triangle underneath the heart. Knees up or down. Push up into your plank pose. Option to swivel the heels to the left. Push down into the left hand and reach the right hand high for a side plank. And then reverse side, swiveling heels opposite direction if that feels good. Release back down. And now we'll pick up the sequence where we left off. So bring left knee to the space. Push down into the left hand to slowly reach up away from me. Glide the right leg forward as you reach back. And then reach everything apart. One more time. And then slowly shift the weight over to the right, reaching up and away. And then circling behind you. But think more about lifting up than bending back. Circle over to the left. Plant the hands. Your call if you want to do a triangle or normal down dog hands. Reach the right foot back to plank. And then push into the hands, letting the left foot reach high into the air so the whole front of the left hip can unfurl after all of that flexion. And then set the left knee down back to where it came from. Push down into the left hand, lifting up, hover the right foot, glide it forward and back. One more time forward. As you glide it back this time, bend the right knee, and if you want to reach for the right ankle, just letting the front of the body open in like a half bow pose. You can pause there for a moment. And then release the foot. Kick it forward just like we did before and slowly shift the weight over to the right. And circle behind you. And then circle forward, melting down. Your call. Keep the back knee down or lift the back knee. Push down into the feet, slowly stacking the spine, letting the body open. Arms circle behind you. And then they reach forward and shift into Virabhadrasana 3. And if this is feeling awesome and you want a little bit more here, feel free to plant the hands and take a little kick for a handstand prep or an actual handstand. And then return to Virabhadrasana 3. Kick into the left foot. Set the foot down silently. Virabhadrasana 2. Take your snakes. And as you reach over to the right, extend the right leg, melting down. Just take one circle with the left arm. And then as it circles down to the left foot, slowly walk your hands through center and bend the knees, letting the hips lower as you move through center to the other side. And we're just going to go right into the other side. So keep the back knee hovered or lower it down. Push down into the feet, slowly stacking the spine, circling the arm up and back. And reach forward, Virabhadrasana 3, option for your handstand. And then kick the right foot back, Virabhadrasana 2, take a couple of snakes. And then melt over the left leg. Let the right arm reach up and over, and then down and back. And the next time it reaches up and over, bend the left knee, release the hands down, turn the toes towards the side, bend the knees, let the hips lower, coming in to a squat as you switch sides. Last round, bend the left knee, push down to slowly rise up. Circle arms back and then carry yourself forward. Option for a handstand or just pause in Virabhadrasana 3. And then as you're ready, kick the left foot back. Virabhadrasana 2. Take some gentle snakes, so lateral flexion to the right and left. And then melt over the right leg. One big circle with the left arm. Feel free to pause for a moment when the arm reaches the top in trikonasana, just feeling the heart open. And then continue the circle with the arm. Bend the right knee. Slowly walk through center, bending the knees a lot and letting the hips lower if it's comfortable. And then keep turning. Lift the right heel, plant the right hand, and hop the left foot over the right back to the beginning. Yeah, you're getting good at that. And then scooch the hips back onto the mat. Pause for a moment at center, tent the hands behind you, and push into the fingertips to open the heart. Bend the knees a little bit so there isn't any resistance here. And then bring the soles of the feet together and just bounce the knees a couple of times. Walk the hands forward so you can release the body over the legs. And then squeeze the feet together, generating enough strength to roll up, hands free. Extend the legs. And then extend the spine, coming onto your back. All right, this is our very last round. You know everything that's about to happen, so you can really just relax into it. And then we'll cool down. So we'll start with a foot circle. As the toes point away from you, push down into the heels, letting the body open slightly. Circle the arms overhead, left arm on top. Give yourself a big hug and pull the knees in, curling up. And then release the head down. Let the arms melt over the body, legs to a V. Circle the arms down to the hips, tent the fingertips, and push down into the shoulders to roll the spine up any amount. As the hips come down, left arm and left leg reach apart. Slowly lower the right leg as it crosses the left leg, rolling over the left side of the body. Take your time, enjoy the massage on the left side. And then bring your arms together, push into left hand, push into right, and then push evenly into the hands. Peel the spine up, let the hands slide in. Bend the elbows a little bit as you wave from side to side. And then repeat that process, letting the hands slide in a little bit more, as long as it generates a springiness in the spine and the arms and no tension or rigidity. And then release down, triangle underneath the heart, knees up or down, push into your plank. Option for side plank by swiveling the heels from side to side, or just hold your plank with knees up or down. And then when you come back to center, draw the right knee across the body, plant it between left hand and foot, push down into the right hand to slowly stack the body and hover the left leg. Glide the left leg forward and back. Forward and plant the foot, gently shift the weight, reach over to the left and then back. And then plant the hands back down. Option for the triangle or just normal hands. Left foot behind you, down dog, or keep that right knee lifted and let the whole front of the right hip open for scorpion dog. And then we'll repeat that. So right knee releases between hand and foot. Push into the right hand, opening away from me. Glide left leg forward and back. Forward, and then slowly shift the weight, one big circle here. And then plant the hands down. Last round, left foot back, scorpion dog. And then right knee down, open away from me. And we have the option to add a half bow here, or chapasana prep. So as you glide the left leg back, option to reach for the back heel and just open through the front, the left side of the body. Make sure the right hip and low back are okay with this. And release, glide the left leg forward. Gently shift the weight over to the left, reach up and over. And then circle back and around. Release down, option to keep the knee down or hover the right knee. Push down into the legs to slowly stack the body, reach arms back. And then float them forward, taking flight. Virabhadrasana 3 option for a handstand as long as that feels safe for you. And then kick into the right foot and slowly set the right foot down for Virabhadrasana 2. Pause and just gently snake the spine, letting there be equal weight in the feet. And the next time the ribs reach up and over to the left, extend the left leg, hand down, and one big circle with the right arm. And then as the arm circles down, bend the left knee, walk the hands through center, turning all 10 toes to the side, and lower the hips. And option to pause here for a moment and lift onto one toe at a time. So lifting the heel so you come onto the toes, not one toe, I should say the toes of one foot. And then keep on turning to the right. We'll do that again on the second side. You can make any adjustments with the feet so the hips feel really buoyant. And then push down into the feet slowly. Reverse melting up. Circle the arms back. Shift the weight to Virabhadrasana 3 and take a moment to just appreciate any ease with which you find in this pose from all the work you've done up until this point. And then kick the left foot back, letting the left thigh spiral open. Slowly release the left foot down and go right into your snakes. As you reach over the right leg, slowly extend the right leg, melting. Plant the hand. And then circle the left hand down, forward, up. Feel free to pause for a moment. And then keep circling. Bend the right knee, plant the hands, make your way through center. If you liked pausing in that goddess squat, you're welcome to pause there again, or just keep on traveling over to the left for our very last round of this. Push down into the feet whenever you're ready. And let your body take you through this sequence that you've done so many times. It doesn't matter about depth. We're just reaching for a sense of smoothness and buoyancy. If you lose your way, you can look up at me. Otherwise, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter if we do all of the poses, as long as it feels enjoyable and supportive. And then we'll end up walking the hands over to the right, planting the left hand, and hopping the right leg over. No need to rush, but when we're there, we'll take a moment on Dandasana, extending the legs in front of us, lifting the heart. And then glide the soles of the feet together and press the soles of the feet together so there's a sense of energy in the legs and they're not just flopping out. And then walk the hands forward, gently release the spine over the legs, but keep swaying so nothing locks up and you release any urge to push too far. And then squeeze the feet together, letting that energy help you pull the spine back up, extend the legs forward, and gently melt onto the back. And from now on, we are cooling down, so you're only allowed to do things that feel like you would pay for them in a massage. And you're welcome to go to the next track. for just a more cooling down soundtrack. I can't. I don't know that one. That's okay. Just try it. And oh. You're also welcome to silence the music. Though we'll have silence in meditation and Shavasana, sometimes it can be soothing to sink into silence earlier, so that's up to you. And at this point, if there's anything that the body's asking for, you're welcome to just follow that wish of your body. Otherwise, I'll guide you through some things. We'll start with a gentle foot circle. And as you push down into the heels, notice the front of the body opening. We'll take this into a bridge pose. So you can release that effort. Drag the heels in so the back line of the body is actively working to pull the heels towards the glutes. And then place the soles of the feet down. Reach hands towards heels and just gently dig the heels in just like you did before. And notice any sense of lightness and ease with which you can lift the body into bridge pose. And then gently set one vertebra at a time down. Circle the arms overhead and then give yourself a hug with either arm over top. It doesn't matter. Gently curl up towards the legs like we've done so many times. And then release the head down. Float the legs overhead. Allow the arms to melt over the forehead. Just imagine that massaging any tension away from the mind. And circle arms all the way down to the hips. We'll add on a little bit here. We're going to add a V with our legs. But instead of just letting the legs fall out to the side, imagine the inner leg line just slowly lengthening with control so the feet can broaden any amount. And then use your hands to gently draw the legs back together so there's no tension in that leg line. And release the hands down. Give the legs a little jiggle. And then gently bend the knees. Place the soles of the feet down just like where they were for bridge pose. And let just the right knee slowly fall out to the side with control. So you roll onto the outer edge, the pinky side of the right foot. And gently start to drag the right foot away from you. So you're actively engaging the leg as it extends. And when the foot is fully extended, kick into it so much that it slowly starts to internally rotate into that neutral position. And we'll repeat that. So drag the right heel in towards the glute. Let the right knee fall out with control. And then drag the right foot forward. So the leg's still externally rotated until it extends, and then it gently rolls over the heel back to neutral. And if you like that sense of massaging through the hip and the leg, take a couple more on your own on that first side. And notice the free massage on the foot as well as the hip. The next time it comes back up to meet the left, we'll switch sides. So gently control the lowering of the left knee and then kick the left foot long. Let it point up to neutral and then drag it back to that bridge starting position. Let there be a sense of ease as you go through these movements so it doesn't feel like just one muscle is activating to lengthen the leg or turn it to neutral, but rather the whole leg connecting into the pelvis and the low abdominals, working together to glide through these movements. And the next time the left foot comes up to meet the right, option to place the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to gently open. But again, instead of just letting the legs flop out, have a sense of control and support from the inner leg line in Supta Baddha Konasana. Just for a breath. If it ever doesn't feel good, you can take the opposite, so feet wide, knees knocked in. That can feel really nice. And if the knees are open in Baddha Konasana, bring the hands to the thigh bones and gently start to press the crease of the thigh away from you. Just getting some space in the hip socket, as long as that feels good. Can help to walk the shoulder blades down the back a little bit to generate more length in your arms. And then use the hands to slowly guide the legs back to center. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And reach the arms to a T. Lift just the right knee. Cross over the left, but instead of squeezing them together, just hover the left leg so there's a little bit of space. And let the knees start to point just slightly to the left. And then open the feet to a V up towards the sky and switch sides, so both knees bend and left leg crosses over to the right, and just gently roll to the right and then back to V and then gently to the left. And just take a few moments for these gentle massaging twists. And if you do want some stillness in a twist, you can let the bottom foot touch the ground and let the top ankle rest like a figure 4. And you can gaze the opposite way. Or you can cross the legs, just as long as it doesn't take you too deep. Keep both shoulder blades down if you are taking, if you're holding a twist. And just be sure to balance out sides. And we'll just finish by bringing our hands to our knees and gently lifting the head towards the knees just to release any compression in the spine. And then grab behind the knees, kick the legs forward so you can slowly roll up to seated. If you want one last Baddha Konasana, you're welcome to fold forward. If you've had enough hip opening, well, then you can just go straight to the ultimate hip opener, which is our meditation seat. So sorry, I guess it's not over yet. At this point, pause your music, and if your body's still craving anything, feel free to keep doing your thing. But we will have some time for meditation together. So if you've got a cushion or a blanket or something that will help make this more comfortable, take a moment to set yourself up for success. And so we'll have 10 minutes of meditation and then 10 minutes for Shavasana. And take a moment just to appreciate your meditation seat with all of the hip work we've done. Just notice if there's any extra sense of support beneath you. You can close the eyes if that feels comfortable. And allow the focus to sink inside. And after all of that external movement, especially movements designed to work the fascia, just notice any sense of tingling inside or a deeper awareness of the consciousness that's always pulsating within us. And start to notice the gentle rising and falling of the breath. And without forcing it, just try to slow the breath down by simply relaxing more. And as the breath slows, become aware of the space and the sense of spaciousness between each breath. And there's just a natural pause. Sometimes we rush it. So at the bottom of each exhale, as you pause there, try to let the inhale come to you. And we'll let the breath continue to do its natural flow as we start to repeat the mantra Om Namah Shivaya with each natural inhale and each natural exhale. And this is our powerful lineage mantra, which means I bow with respect to the inner self. And each time you repeat this mantra, imagine it taking you one step closer to a real experience of the self, this perfect place of perfection and bliss within each of our hearts. Om Namah Shivaya. Each inhale, allow it to just gently pull you towards the heart and beyond. And each exhale, allow yourself to soften. Imagine the edges of the body softening. And so there's not a distinct separation between you and the space around you. Through our yoga practice, we generated a lot of movement that gave us something to focus on, something to feel and explore. And now, as we sit in meditation, imagine each repetition of the mantra giving you that same possibility of inner exploration, of feeling more, discovering more. And the mantra is a vibration even though it's silent. So imagine that vibratory quality traveling through your entire fascial network, your entire inner space, reverberating within you. Just have 1 minute left of meditation and feel just that little spark of potential to just bring a little more focus, but also a little more softness. Let the forehead relax. And continue to repeat the mantra with the possibility that it can take you to a deeper awareness of yourself. You're welcome to stay upright for as long as it feels useful to you. Can also make your way onto your back for Shavasana, for our final relaxation pose where we're able to soak in the nectar of our practice in a completely effortless way. As you make your way onto your back, just pay attention. Notice if the body's asking for any little movements or adjustments so that you can be as supported as possible. Sometimes placing something beneath your knees, like a blanket or a cushion, can feel really supportive and nurturing. And regardless of whether you're sitting up or laying down, for the last 10 minutes of class, imagine you can get out of the way completely. Your mind, any tensions, anything you're holding on to, just imagine it just softens and releases, and that you can just be supported by pure consciousness, your natural state. And we'll just spend the last part of class harmonizing with this vast potential for our inner being. Take a moment to just notice your heartbeat. Notice your breath. Notice a sense of wholeness in your body. Try to maintain awareness of those three things as you gently make movements, starting to wake up the physical body, starting to head towards seated, though you don't have to rush. Heart, breath, wholeness, almost as if you were just observing yourself from this outside perspective, this broader perspective. When you arrive back at seated, you can bring the hands to the heart and just notice any sense of familiarity in the heart space or just a deeper connection inside. You can gently bow, honoring that perfection that lies within your heart, and make it closer to it every single time we practice, every single time we choose to be conscious. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. Namaste. Happy New Year, everybody. So great to see you if it's the first time this year. Hope to practice with you soon. Have an awesome week. Take care. Oh, yay, good. I see some smiling, happy faces. I love it. Or just Zen is okay too. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, peace. Oh, yay. Great to see you. Oh, my pleasure. I hope that you can steal lots of it and share it with others. It's for everyone. Take care. See you soon. Good to see you, Steffi. It's been too long. Oh, so great to see you. You look more beautiful than ever.